Beloved friends, peace be with you, and welcome to another edition of A Moment with Sister Prisca. Tonight, we journey into silence, mystery, and memory, into the vanishing echoes of Arochukwu, where the oracle once spoke and now no longer does. What happens when the voice we relied on disappears? What if silence is not absence, but divine invitation? Let's find out together. Remember, the title of today's live stream is The Oracle is Silent, Echoes from the Vanished Village of Arochukwu. Let me take you to a sacred place tucked deep in the southern east of Nigeria, where the ancient voices once roared like thunder and whispered like wind. The land was called Arochukwu, not merely a town, but a spiritual kingdom, an oracle-centered civilization. The Arab people were feared and revered, for they were the custodians of Ibinobabi, the great oracle. This was no mere village priesthood. Ubinibabi, often called the Long Juju, was the voice that judged between guilt and innocence. It decided land disputes and it sentences criminals. It even chose which part a traveler must walk. Those who entered the oracle's chamber often never returned. Justice was executed, not in court, but in crows. Now imagine such a voice, feared by colonizers and honored by clans, goes quiet. No thunder, no war. The oracle suddenly became silent. What does a village do when the mouth of the gods ceases to speak? Softly at first, then all at once, Arochukwu began to fracture. Villages once united by the oracle's voice drifted apart. The binding voice was no more. Fear turned to confusion. Reverence is crumbled into memory, just like things fall apart, as China Achebe could rightly describe in his book. Scripture speaks of such moments in 1 Samuel chapter 3 verse 1. The word of the Lord was rare in those days. Visions were not widespread. Eli was old. His sons were corrupt. The ark of God was in Shiloh, but the voice had grown quiet. Silence wrapped the land like a shroud until the boy Samuel held his name in the dark, just like in Arochukwu. The path once lit, now swallowed by dust, where drums no longer beat in trust. The voice that ruled, now lost in trees. Stillness tears the silent breeze. Echoes remain where voices died. Truth now walks with none to guide. Yet in that silence, a call is born. Faith must rise where gods are torn. Dear listeners, when the British colonizers arrived, they saw in Arochukwu not only a spiritual center, but a threat. The oracle's influence reached across Igbo land and beyond. The Aro Confederacy, powered by sacred authority and economic ties to the slave trade, was dismantled forcefully. Then in 1902, the Anglo-Arrow War ended what many believed to be divine order. The Oracle shrine was desecrated. The priests either fled or were killed. Silence did not come as a fading wind. It came with muskets, bullets, and fire. But dear friends, the silence that followed was deeper than sound. It was existential. Generations grew without the oracle. Children were told stories, not truths. The sacred crows became forgotten footsteps. The gods once loud was now legends. And yet there is something holy in that silence. As Elijah discovered, God was not in earthquake nor in fire, but in that still small voice. 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 12. The same might be the truth of Arochukwu. And I want to ask this question. Have you ever depended so much on a voice, either a mentor, a priest, a leader, a prophecy, or even from a friend, only to find yourself abandoned in silence? Perhaps God is teaching us to trust the inner stirring. Maybe Arochukwu is not gone, but evolving. Maybe the silence is not the end of God's voice, but the beginning of your own voice. The oracle was a voice of justice. Where is justice needed today? Probably in your home, in your place of work, or even in the community where you live. The oracle separated truth from falsehood. Can we still hear that voice amid our political noise, social chaos, or even spiritual confusions? The silence of Arochukwu invites us to find the sacred in broken places. Some questions for you, dear listeners. Has there been a moment in your life when the voice you relied on suddenly disappeared? Probably the voice of a friend, of a colleague, of somebody whom you truly trusted. What did you do when God is silent? Perhaps, like Samuel, you are being called to respond. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And I invite you to share your comments at the comment section. What does silence teach you about faith? You know, dear listeners, when oracles fade and priests grow old, and when fire die and nights grow cold, let us allow God to give us courage to rise and to hear his voice of truth in every strange environment we may find ourselves. Let this be the message you carry on to your places of work, in your family, and in other things. Ask yourself, when God's voice silences, what do you do? What can you tell that is the secret behind the silence of the city of Arochukwu, a popular place where many run for justice, but now seems to be a deserted home? I would want to read your comments at the comment section. Don't forget to invite your friends, share this video with them, and please don't forget to subscribe and also follow us for our upcoming video live streams and check on other videos already in the channel. You will surely learn something beautiful. We're going to continue unveiling a lot of beautiful stories in this very channel. Stay tuned. Don't forget, I am Sister Prisca, in A Moment with Sister Prisca. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a happy good day. I remain yours forever in the Lord.